Good morning and welcome into the number one group of five college football show in the history of the universe. This is the group of five guys. Our mission is to be the voice for the group of five football programs, be the voice that the mainstream sports media absolutely refuses to be. We need your help to do that. Hit the follow button on all the social platforms at group of five guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your best podcasts, the Believe Network. Subscribe to the channel, leave a 5-star rating and a review. Tell your family and friends all about us. On this episode, had some pretty good football games Wednesday and Thursday night. We got a couple good ones tonight, a couple of monster games on Saturday, and we may or may not need to talk about the FBI's investigation in illegal gambling. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the group of five guys, and we are coming to you live.
They got Old Dominion week 3, and ODU is by no means a layup. The group of five guys told me that, so that has to be true.
We looked at each other, we was like, Mike, the best place to be is a group of five. So I'm sitting here with the group of five guys, right?
Troy has won, it's been a winner, and it's a special place, so it's why you want the job.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
It was across there. You want to have this thing packed out, have the student section packed out, giving those guys hell on the sideline. I mean, that's part of it. I mean,
win or lose, like we're winning the tailgate.
There's no better place to be developed in this country than Boise State.
Jeff, I am certain that I've been the victim of a player. I mean, the obvious one, of course, is Terry Rozier playing for my Miami Heat the last couple of years. But I am certain that this has been going on for many, many years. Has to have been. And it's coming to the light, buddy. And I mean, you got referees and in the Auburn, Georgia game being suspended indefinitely. You got a couple NBA guys getting arrested, an NBA coach getting arrested. So, I mean, it can't be that's got to be. We're just getting into it. I mean, I think we're just getting started.
Yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg. And you had to know that something like this was bound to happen with as much sports gambling now is legal in so many states. It's just a shame. It's sad, but it's a byproduct. I mean, this is what everybody, not this particular thing, but everybody wants, more numbers, including myself, more things to bet on. But you had to know this was coming. And what's crazy to me is Rozier, I don't know what his contract is or was, but come on.
Overpaid, I know that.
But come on. How much did you really make off of that? Or was it just for your buddies so they would win, going out with an injury 9 minutes into the game, and then at the same game, thousands, I don't know if it was hundreds or thousands, those thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars was bet on his unders for the stats.
Yep.
So, and then you got Chauncey Billups, who I'm pretty sure was going to be a Hall of Famer. You can count that out now. I mean, that's like the whole Pete Rose thing.
Yeah. I mean, it is a shame. I did notice that ESPN took on their ticker, they took their ESPN bet thing off the screen for, I can't remember what show it was, but and again, yeah, you're right. I enjoy the gambling aspect of it. I think it very much should be a part of it. I think it makes a game that you wouldn't care about. I think it makes you care a little bit more about it. I think it makes you a little more passionate about games. It makes you want to watch all the games, even a lowly game like a Georgia Tech South Florida game. If that ever happened in a playoff scenario, you'd watch it because you're betting on it. Obviously, responsibly, right? And I think that's the key. This is irresponsible for these guys. But I swear, at the same time, they're also trying to make it legal for college kids and coaches to bet on
Well, they just did.
professional. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I swear we've come on here and said that all the overload of sponsorships and everything tied together. I mean, we've more so been talking about how, you remember last year, it was during the NBA finals. We talked about how even that, because far and away, everybody knew, was it Boston, right? Was the better team. But then for a week straight, every talking head on ESPN got on there and told you how Dallas was going to win that series.
Uh-huh.
And then it was like, and then all of a sudden, all this money starts coming in on Dallas because they push a narrative about one team being better than the other, but yet they also own the sports book, and yet they also
Yeah.
it sponsors everything that they do. And I mean, so you knew some type of corruption was coming. Now, freaking Terry Rozier. I mean, what are we doing, David Jones?
Well, not only them, right? But look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought the mafia. I thought we were, my paisans. I thought we were kind of out on.
Oh
We
no,
were kind of out. I thought we'd kind of died off, but La Cosa Nostra
yeah,
apparently still going strong, running trash syndicates up, up in the Northeast, and while all of a sudden running betting rackets, poker games, loaded poker games.
Hey, what Chauncey, the X-ray goggles? I mean, X-ray. Well, I mean, how does this
What
stuff
are we
happen,
doing?
dude? How? I mean, it
Time
is
to
wild
be
stuff.
alive.
Anyway, we're partnered with Level Sports Fix, which is on a serious note, which is totally, integrity and all that stuff
No
is
question.
happening there for sure. We've been talking about it the last few weeks, all season long. Make sure you check out the link in our bio. We had another one last night, didn't we, Jeff? Yeah. So, we're hitting on all these college football, these group of 5 games. And then the other guys, they bet Jay Vandy and Coach, they hit on every sport. I mean, Coach is hitting on these 15-point scorers in the NBA. You got Blake with soccer. We now got the Prez going. If you're a hockey guy, we got the Prez going on there. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of good conversation, if nothing else, on that Discord chat going. Also, Deca Gray Coffee Company, second year now. We've been partnered with Deca Gray, our buddy Devin over there. Roast to order coffee. You go to the website, decagray.com. You pick your blend, you put it in your cart, you put in our promo code GOFG, you get your 10% off, you get your free shipping. Once you click purchase, that's when they roast it. That's when they bag it. That's when they ship it directly to your doorstep. Decagray.com. Make sure you check them out. Jeff, what do you think the easiest or most difficult sport is to rig? It's gotta be tough because I mean, there's some questions.
I kind of want to say baseball would be the most difficult.
I do too, because you only get 3 or 4 at bats, and you might get 2 or 3 balls hit your way.
Yeah.
Now if you're a pitcher,
there's 9 people on the field. Yeah, like being a pitcher would be, I guess, the easiest out of that sport.
Well, I guess if you, it depends. If you're betting, money lines or spreads, baseball probably be the most. But if you're betting player props, like strikeouts or something, I mean, that'd be a pretty easy one, because baseball is hard enough as it is. So I think you could easily strike out 3 times and nobody would really.
Yeah, but there's not like a ton. Like, I guess if you'd have to bet a bunch. So I guess it's possible. Yeah. To win a lot, you'd have to bet a lot. Because even if you bet to strike out 3 times, I don't know. That's interesting. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and then I mean basketball, all of them would be very difficult if you're betting on like an over or a because you can't really rig playing well. But you could certainly rig turning the ball over 9 times or whatever the hell Terry Rozier's been doing for 2 seasons in Miami.
Yeah, and then Chauncey Billups, coach of Portland, I believe, gave out some injury, news that he wasn't supposed to give out to some people. So,
yeah, I mean, some might say, Jeff, we were on a team that had some of this going on.
Well, I don't think it was. No, we're not going to get into that.
I mean, you've talked about on here before when we went down to Lafayette and they were holding the blank check.
They were
for our quarterback at the time.
Yeah, His was he took checks from our starting center without him knowing, and the checks bounced. But they were to pay for a debt that was lost in a few poker games. So. That came up like in passing conversation with somebody I met about a poker game that he hosts, and I was like, I knew a guy that played a lot of poker, and he was like, yeah, because you play football. I was like, yeah. He goes, no chance it was Dwight Dasher. He goes, yes, it was Dwight Dasher.
Oh no. It's hard to justify though, like. I came on here on Monday and talked about the inconsistency of play and why there's always that one game when a team comes out and they just don't have it.
You just now you're gonna wonder.
You're gonna question everything. Yep, you're gonna question. This is the world that we live in today, and again, this is the comparison to sports and regular media and politics. Is now in sports, anything that happens, you'd be like, oh yeah, probably. Refs in with the mob cheating, just like in politics. I'm like, oh, probably AI, or that's I like, don't believe anything unless you physically see it with your own eyes, and even then could be fake.
Question it all, boys and girls. Question it all. But
tell you what,
I was gonna say, we had games.
Well, I was gonna say, and we had a little bit of breaking news. Fowler Nicolosi of Colorado State plans to enter the portal. Kind of saw that coming. Yeah. But did he already play 4 games this year? Surely.
Yeah, but I don't think he was a senior.
No, I know. But why announce it? But why announce it and not play the rest of the season? You know what I'm saying? Like if you can't use your red shirt, maybe you can.
Maybe there's a he potentially have a medical red shirt. I'm sure he still has that. You can try and file and use that, and then trying to get ahead of it.
We've got to go back to, you got 5 years to play for, no matter what. Do whatever else you want. Red shirt, medical, transfer.
Well, medical was always there. You always had your red shirt plus a medical.
Yeah. But the problem is now you can have a strained hamstring 4 weeks into the season and get a medical. You used to not be able to get any. You used to never be able to get any waivers at all.
Yeah,
like you could have the most severe family emergency and they wouldn't let you transfer. And now you can do whatever. Anyway, we did have games, Jeff. Wednesday night. Let's just go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room here. Our alma mater went to Delaware, weekday Conference USA. I want to preface everything I'm about to say and say that we played better. I mean, the effort was there. I thought better protection on the O-line, popped a couple of decent run plays, had a little of tempo that you've been calling for, I thought. And the defense, in general, played better. Not a ton of just throwing it over their heads. But and actually, let me stop. Delaware uniform combo, phenomenal.
Really
Wednesday
good.
night crowd, decent, better than what most are getting on Wednesday nights. And Minicucci, he played okay. He's got a little attitude that I like most of the time. He's got that trash talking quarterback, a little bit of that Diego Pavia to him. So I like it. They rally behind him. But we have been preaching this message for years now. You see, this game wasn't a blowout, but you see blowouts and you see games go a certain way. And this game is a perfect example of that. That late in the third quarter, you get that drive. You're down by 3. You stop them. They're about to punt, and you get an unsportsmanlike penalty.
Stupid.
Just a stupid, unsportsmanlike penalty. And then credit to Coach Mason. He yanks him for a minute, puts him back in, and then he immediately goes back in and continues, almost gets another one. I mean, I'm glad they were calling it out on the broadcast because it's just stupid. You are 1-5. You have given up 30 points already. You have no business talking any trash to anybody ever, especially at that stage in the game when you get yourself a penalty. And then what happens is Delaware goes and scores. So you have a chance to swing. You're going to get the ball. You got all the momentum. You go down and score, and you got a 4-point lead. But instead, you do that. They go down and score. Now you're down 2 possessions, and there's your ball game. Just like that. One stupid play can it changes every game. Every game you watch, there's going to be a play. It might be in the third quarter, might be in the fourth, it might be earlier than that, where you're in it and you got a chance and you're going toe-to-toe with somebody, and then something happens. A penalty, a turnover, terrible decision. But then, we get the ball back. We go 3 and out. We shank a punt. and then it's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So, again, a chance to be up 4 becomes down 10 because one guy can't control his emotions. It's simple as that.
And even with that, you lose by a field goal. You have a red zone turnover earlier in the game that if you kick that, now it's a tie ball game. But here's the other thing that just drives me nuts. Offensive coordinators, we got to stop overthinking and doing stupid ass shit, because it's, number one, pissing me off. Number 2, it's blowing my bets because
Delaware. You're going on a Delaware here.
I'm going on a Delaware rant. You're up by 2 scores. You're up by 10 with 4 minutes to go. Minakuchi goes out. He's banged up. You bring in Braden Streeter. You're in the red zone. You have points, and you're up by 2 scores. Run the ball, kick the field goal. You're good. Instead, you decide to throw the ball with your backup quarterback with 4 minutes to go. You could have ran another 30, 40 seconds off the clock, kicked the field goal. Now you're up by 13. Instead, you throw a pick, middle drives down. They score a touchdown and blow the spread that Delaware was up. I just don't get it. Makes no sense to me. It almost seems like Sprouse. It almost seems like somebody.
Yeah, dude.
Had something on it. I don't know. That's completely hearsay. But
well, I think anybody that ever has dabbled in any type of sports betting has the thought or has the conversation amongst friends or people they watch games with is, how does Vegas always know? How do they always know? They don't. Maybe they don't know.
He knows.
Maybe they say, hey, Chauncey.
Yeah.
It's 7.5 tonight. Draw up a shitty out of bounds play to make sure you don't score. Or foul, in basketball, foul late. Hey, this is a 9.5 spread. It's an 8-point game. There's 10 seconds left. It's over. Foul.
Yeah.
Make them go shoot their 2 free throws and cover.
Yeah. All things serious. I thought the Blue Raiders looked better. You mentioned it. Offense and defense at times. Finally, we go 5 wide right out the gate, going up tempo. We're moving the ball. That's what we got to do. It cleans up, everything for the offensive line, for Nick at quarterback. You just got to go fast. You got to go fast. You catch the defense off guard. They weren't really expecting it. And all that considered, man, you lose by 3 when it should have been tied, really, at the end of the game, potentially going into overtime. But you got to give credit to Coach Cardi, to the Blue Hens.
Yeah.
2-2 in Conference USA, 4-3 on the year. Minakuchi played well, and Duplessis.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's a good player. 7 catches, 65 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, they got some dudes, man. They just turned the ball over. That early fumble that allowed Middle to go up 14-7, like just a bad pitch on an option play. Like there's just every game they have a couple of those. If they could really clean those up, Delaware they could be potentially, competing for conference.
I think sometimes you get those. That pitch was. I'm not blaming anybody really, but I think sometimes you get turnovers like that when you get a quarterback that plays the style he plays. Like you got that gunslinger mentality, that risk taker, that dog, whatever you want to call it. And they tend to take chances. And at times, I love this guy. Look at him throwing
Yeah.
it in there. Same play could get intercepted, if it's covered a little bit differently. So, but yeah, you're right. Shout out to Delaware. And again, I think the Raiders played a little bit better. I just think that defensive players, dude, they got no emotional control.
It's
It is a
baffling.
pandemic. Um, Missouri State, New Mexico State. I tell you what, if you enjoy a good turnover, this was a great game to watch. I think what was it, 6 interceptions between the two,
Jeez, it
5 through
was,
4,
yeah.
Carter through 2, or Clark, I'm sorry, through 2.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, dude, Missouri State and Delaware. I told you this in the preseason, and I continue to say they're going to be really good. Those are great additions to Conference USA because they have fan support and they have winning culture. And you've got, to go back to Delaware a little bit. I mean, I know they kept making light of it, but you got like big time alum, guy like
Yeah.
Joe Flacco coming out of Delaware. That they get to winning. That guy quits playing football ever. You get him back involved with the program a little bit. You got a chance both of these programs here, and then New Mexico State is the turnovers. I mean, you can't throw 4 interceptions and win any game.
No, you can't do it. Logan Fife, he played well. You just can't. That's 4 extra possessions that you're giving to the other team. And like you said, that was the ball game because I thought New Mexico State really controlled, the momentum of this game. They were more physical defensively, played their ass off. They were just constantly back on the field. And then Fife was good with his legs. I thought he made some really nice plays there. TK King. I mean, you talk about just an explosive. Anytime the ball touches his hands, he is a dynamic player. Donovan Fappel, 10 receptions, 84 yards and a touchdown. I was like, New Mexico State has some really good skill players, but you just can't do it.
Yeah, and they make those mistakes too. TK King had didn't he's the one that had the muffed punt last week. And like I said, explosive player, awesome player, but as a team, they just 1 or 2 mistakes here and there. I mean, and you still are in the game. So if you don't do those things, you probably win this thing going away.
Yeah.
So last night was, to me, a surprisingly, great game to watch. South Alabama, Georgia State. Now, for Georgia State, I get it. They're not very good. Haven't been very good. But I don't understand how we can't get people there. Somebody there. We'll talk about the game first. No turnovers at all in this game until Georgia State's last 2 possessions. And they fumble. South Alabama goes down and scores the game winner. And then Georgia State throws a pick at the end of the game. That's it. A back and forth game. I mean, Georgia State got down a little bit early, came back, tied it up, took the lead. And then you get the turnover late.
35 points in the first quarter alone. I mean, just not a lot of defense played. You're talking about 2 of the worst defenses in the country, but the offenses, like you mentioned, protected the ball. Ted Hurst had a monster day, 5 catches, 110, 2 touchdowns. This Cameron Brown kid, they found something in him. He's a good quarterback. He's super athletic. He can run around. He throws it real well too. I love his motion, and they've played better each week. I've thought, these are games normally where it's not close, and they have played really tight with some really good opponents all year long for the most part. So I know you're 1-7. I know you're 0-4 in conference, but McGee, I think, is building something, and I think they're going to be a contender before too long. And then flip over to South Alabama. Finally, this offense, got going with the skill players that we've been talking about all year. Bishop Davenport, Bullock. Like this is a South offense that we've been wanting to see, but we've seen it early. And then again, other than up until the fourth quarter, they had 0 points in the fourth quarter, like going in the second half until very late. So I can't figure out why they'll look really good for like a quarter or two or one game. And then the next game or the second half is just like, where'd they go?
Yeah.
Just the inconsistencies for South, but shout out to them. They get the win.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned Davenport.
He
He was back to the efficiency that he had early in the season, even when they were losing some games to like Auburn and these. Like Davenport was solid. I mean, I think in the first half he was something like 13 of 15, like just very efficient. And again, when you don't turn it over, I do want to say one thing about Georgia State though, and the crowd and the support. I've been to a couple games up there, and they have like a core diehard group that very rough comparison. Their core diehard tailgate group that used to be, I think they've changed it. It used to tailgate right there in that plaza by the where they have all the Brave statues and stuff. Very similar to like the Charlotte diehard group, like where Jimmy and Norm and the Normulance and stuff are. Very similar to that, but that's all they had. But then they moved those people. But they have, dude. If anybody's ever been to Braves games or been to Georgia State lately, they have this neighborhood called Summer Hill. It's across the street from the stadium. I mean, it's in the parking lot basically of the stadium, and there's a barbecue joint, there's a brewery, there's like some kind of pizza place, there's a couple little restaurant bars over there, a block from a football stadium. But they're so disconnected from each other that it drives me off the wall. Now, you can't tell a business owner what to do or what to promote, but you have, to me, okay, hear me out here. You have football people that are going to be wanting to maybe watch football, and then you have all these bars and restaurants that are not football, very hipster, very, very not football. So you go there, great food. I mean, when I've been to Georgia State, I've been to the little barbecue place. They got good food. I've been to the brewery. They got good beer. They got good wings up there. They got a little rooftop even, Jeff.
Oh, wow.
But you go in there. If anybody's been to Georgia State, you're going to have to, I can't remember the name of this place. Like the brewery on a Saturday, let's say Georgia State's playing at 3:30. You go into the brewery at noon, and they have a big projector screen, but there will be like videos of sheep like in Europe running around in the hills. But I'm like, you could, even a Georgia State crowd that's like 2,000 people, like there's still a lot of people that might want to come in here and watch some games and there's such a disconnect, but it has so much damn potential, and it drives me off the damn wall, buddy. I mean, again, like barbecue, beer, pizza. What
more do you want?
The only other thing missing is a WWE event for our crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they just don't do it. And it's, I don't know, maybe I don't know if the businesses do well or not. And they're just like, this is our market. This is what we get here. But it's crazy when you have all that potential. It's kind of like how Middle has, and this is not the fault of Middle, I don't think, but you have like the older bars, Campus Pub and Dirty Gyms that are right by the stadium, but they're not the ones that are the popular ones. The ones on the other side of town are, and you're like, why doesn't make this connection for the love of God? Anyway, we got a couple games tonight. We got some big ones on Saturday. So starting out tonight, you got North Texas at Charlotte. North Texas 4 touchdown favorites. Charlotte, I'll tell you, they'll have fans. Their students will be there. Bad Ball Club. I did not think. I'm surprised that Charlotte has had the growing pains that they're having under Tim Albin. I didn't think they'd come in and win the conference, but I did think that it would be a much quicker turnaround. And I hope that this is just the burn it down so we can build it back up type of season, because I think Tim Albin, I don't think anybody thinks that wasn't an absolute home run grand slam hire. Everybody wants it faster. It's your Amazon Prime era, like you always talk about. But I'm guilty of it. I thought they'd look better, and at times I've thought they've looked worse this year than they have in previous years.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of this season was definitely growing pains, but they've been riddled with injuries. I'm talking keys, the starters that they did have, have been hurt, quarterback, all across the roster. So I think it was a lot of that. It was a lot of, probably win, I thought at least 3-4 games, probably. Now and the rest of their schedule too is tough. So trying to get 2 is going to be pulling teeth. I think they'll be fine. I think he's a great coach. It's just going to take some time. You got to recruit it. He is one of the ones that did not bring like a lot of key guys with him.
Yeah.
At least that from what I can remember.
Well, you didn't bring he didn't bring Parker Navarro
exactly.
and Shea
That's
Bangura.
what I mean. Like those are, key.
You
key
bring
players.
those 2, and Charlotte's probably a 4-win team at this point already.
No question, especially with a quarterback like that. So it's going to take some time. I think Charlotte's fan base has been super patient. They show up. Let's give them another year, 2, and you should see some movement. And then shout out North Texas, man. They #1 offense in the American, scoring a ton of
#1 offense
points.
in America, Jeff.
Yeah, no doubt. Just scoring a ton of points. Gonna check the team total for them as far as betting wise, but that spread's super high. They should cover it, but it's a high spread.
Yeah, so long as they don't turn it over at all, I think they cover that because I think they're going to score every time they get it, to be quite honest with you. And I don't know that Charlotte will score, if at all, in this one. So good one to watch. It'll be a good one for me to watch while in Memphis as I make my travels over there this afternoon, which, by the way, can I just complain to the world, Jeff? I've already told you this. So I had a big plan. My Fridays, hopefully nobody from my work watches the show. I always, people sometimes ask me about it, and I try to keep it under wraps at work because the last thing that I need is to have a bad week or something. And they're like, well, you spend less time on your podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't need that. So I try to keep it pretty much on the low. But so anyway, so I had this great plan that today I was going to go to the office, do some paperwork, do a little bit of administrative tasks, and then I was going to get out of there. I was going to get out of the office about 9:30, 10 a.m. I was going to come to the house, get a quick workout in the garage, and then eat lunch with the family and get out of here. Get to Memphis by about 6 p.m., staying right off of Beale Street. I was going to find me a little barbecue joint. Then I was going to go back, lay in the bed, watch North Texas, Charlotte, watch Boise, Nevada. But instead, I get a calendar invite yesterday evening that I've got somebody shadowing me today. I've got to, train or whatever. I can't.
Brutal.
I didn't take off. So now I'm stuck, dude. So now I'm not going to get to Memphis. I mean, I'm still going to be able to get out of there I'll be able to get out of the office now by lunch-ish.
Yeah.
But then I
Put
got to
you
come
back.
home. I got to change. I got to pack. I'm not going to be able to get a workout in. I'm not. So just brutal. Just absolutely brutal. But I'll be there. I'll be there for the game, which is the most important thing. I've already talked to Memphis Cody. We're gonna link up on Saturday at the tailgate
Nice.
at some point. Try to link up with Micah James, our former. There's always a Middle Tennessee connection, dude.
Always.
Everybody talks about all the people that hated Coach Stock. Talk about how he couldn't hire good coaches or he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that. It's like, well, Micah James didn't coach under Stock, but played center for us for a year or two. Is the O-line coach at South Florida. And Joe Cawthon, who Stock had as our defensive line coach at Middle, is the D-line coach at Memphis. So the trajectory of coaches that are under the Stockstill tree is doing quite well.
No question.
Buster Faulkner, Jeep Wade,
Willie Simmons,
Glenn Ellerby, offensive line coach at Tennessee, Matt Moore, offensive line coach, I think at West Virginia. I don't know. Anyway, but when you pay those guys $38.5 because the president won't give you any more budget, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Brendan Lewis still day to day on this. Unless you've seen something new,
no,
I gotta think he plays. I mean, this is your season's on the line.
Yeah, conference championship. Like all the things are on the line for this game. So I think Lewis guts it out and plays. I think they're just holding it close to the chest just to, try and throw a little misdirection out there. But ESPN's got this game at 50-50. ESPN predictor. Man, what South Florida team we going to get? I think that's what it comes down, because Memphis's defense is very good. And this is the game where we talked about if Byron Brown kind of, he plays loose. He does. Yeah. And the offense kind of follows suit to him. This will be a fun one. This could go either way. To me, this is a coin flip game, but I think South Florida they have shown when they want to be unstoppable on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
But Memphis this ain't no beach house, Sprouse. This ain't no pushover now. This ain't no condominium.
No,
Memphis is at home. It's homecoming. The crowd is going to be raucous. You're going to be there on the field. Sutton Smith is a home run waiting to happen. I'm going to lean South Florida here, but I'm not happy about it. Expect to see quite a bit of scoring in this game, I think.
Yeah, and I actually think, South Florida, you're right. When they want to be, when they turn it on, they're really good on both sides of the ball. If you look at the numbers, Memphis has the better defense. If you look at stats only, and we're getting last week, I think, is just stuck in my head. Like I can't get past how bad they looked against UAB. But then I go back and I think of the other problem I have with the Memphis defense is when they played Arkansas, Taylon Green gave them fits, absolute fits. And Byron Brown can do similar. My gut says South Florida here, but man, playing at Memphis, I especially if it was later in the day, if it was anything other than 11 a.m. local time, it'd be even better for Memphis. I think this is going to be a freaking slugfest. I just think like shot for shot, and who turns it over first, or who does the stupid thing first, is probably going to lose this game. Also, of course, Brendan Lewis will see how he is. If he can't go, then
piece to this.
Take everything out what I just said. I'm going to lean South Florida. I think they got a little bit more weapon wise, and Byron Brown is an X factor that is you can't do anything about him when he turns it on. You can't do anything about him. But
I'm gonna go Alex Golish play calling too. I think that plays a big factor. He's pretty sharp. He's sharp offensive mind.
I hope he hangs around South Florida. He acts like he's gonna, but they all say that.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, Nick Saban got up at the Dolphins podium and said, "I am not going to be the coach. I will not be coaching Alabama." And then 24 hours later, he was in Tuscaloosa. So,
yeah.
I mean, jeez. Also in the American, FAU Navy. Another way. The problem here is FAU can't run the ball at all, and they turn it over, and it's just a terrible matchup. It's a terrible matchup because all of the things that FAU does gives Navy extra possessions, and they hold the ball and they hold time of possession, and they'll hit big plays, which FAU will give up some big plays too. I just a bad matchup for FAU. 15.5.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Check Navy's team total. They've been over most of that every single game this year. So just check what that is. I think that's the play, because with FAU's offense, they are explosive and they've been turning it on the last couple of weeks. So they might get a late score or something like that would blow your 2 touchdown spread. But yeah, I think Navy's a better team, top to bottom. The way style you mentioned a play that they do, like it's going to burn time and possession, which is going to limit FAU's offense to a certain extent. I like Navy in this.
Yeah, I tell you, a game if you want to watch, if you haven't seen UConn play yet, Jeff, this is the recipe that I'm noticing. These teams, again, in the Northeast, are starting to. Is the Northeast going to eclipse the South. These guys go get the Italian quarterback, Jeff.
Something about it. Paisan.
And they throw it all over the place. UConn, by the way, we didn't talk about it. We should have. They smoked Boston College last week, by the way. Just in case anybody was curious if we were going to get any more Group of 5 over mighty Power 4 wins, UConn went to work. So that's a team to watch. I think they'll beat Rice. Rice has kind of fallen off a little bit. That's happened to Rice the last couple of years. They start out, they look pretty good. They look good at times. And then, maybe it's teams have figured out that offense a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Fagnano, big performance against Boston College a week ago, over 350 yards, 4 touchdowns. Skylar Bell, 10 catches, 125 in a tug. Yeah, 5-2 UConn, man. Still independent. We got to find them a home, I think. I think that is important because that's going to give them the opportunity to play in the playoff at some point.
Yeah, and get some more of this TV revenue. The problem for them is they are on such different playing fields in basketball versus football. I mean, they're a basketball blue blood, men's and women's, and in football, they're just not. Anyway, we got to roll. Sorry, I've gotten a little bit carried away here. Temple at Tulsa. Temple 2021, 2022, 23, and 24 won just 3 games each one of those years. They've already won 4. I think they'll get 5 against Tulsa this week. Now, here's the question. Can they get to 6 and bowl eligibility? Because after Tulsa, they got East Carolina, Army, Tulane, North Texas. Can they win 1 of those 4 and get to bowl eligibility? It'll be tough.
It'll be tough, but I think they can do it. Evan Simon has played outstanding this year. Casey Keeler got to be, up there for coach of the year, him and Jerry Mack. So, yeah, I think they definitely get the win against Tulsa on the road. Tulsa's better. They play hard. They follow, Trey Lamb, their coach. I just think from what we've seen all year long, that Temple is for real.
Yeah, 100%. And you look at East Carolina, Tulane, North Texas, it's Temple, the team that goes, because look at North Texas's schedule. They don't have much left. They've already played their toughest ones. Is Temple the team to throw a wrench in North Texas's conference championship hopes? Going on to the MAC, Bowling Green at Kent State. Kent's played better. I think you got to give some credit to their coach, Mark Carney, kind of the interim. I don't really know what they're calling it with all the drama they had in the offseason for keeping this thing together. I think this game's going to be pretty close. But I think Bowling Green will win. Still waiting on Bowling Green to take the identity of Eddie George and be that tough, physical, run the ball team that I thought they'd be.
We called a week ago the kind of letdown after the big, win against Toledo. Drew DeShields for Kent State, I think, is a good quarterback. He has played well. He is the reason why Kent State has 2 wins, in my opinion. They're at home. I love a home dog. 7.5 points right now. I don't know. I don't know if I quite believe in Kent State. I think Bowling Green, top to bottom, is a more physical, especially at the point of attack. But it would shock me. This is going to be close, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Ohio at Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan has the worst run defense in the land. And Ohio with Navarro and Bangura, they run the ball. Give me Ohio all day long.
Yeah, I agree. I think they cover that spread too.
Yeah. Akron at Buffalo. Buffalo's probably going to win, but it's probably not going to be pretty. They're going to keep winning. They'll be, 5-0 in the MAC, but they won't have a good-looking win on their schedule. But don't matter, dude.
No, it doesn't. As long as you get the W's, doesn't matter how it looks. Yeah, give me Buffalo in this one at home.
47.5 on the total. Under's probably in play. Jeff.
Well, I want to say that, but this Buffalo defense ain't been what we thought they were.
That's
either.
true. And Roberson threw for 400-something yards last week. So who knows? Toledo, Washington State. Washington State actually has a pretty damn good defense. The problem is their offense doesn't do much, and Toledo's got a really good defense. So I think Washington State's favored barely. I think I like Toledo here. I think this is a game that they'll get up for, and they'll look like the Toledo that they did against Western Kentucky and when they play some of the top teams.
I agree. The travel's always a concern here. I think that's why they're a road dog in this matchup, because you got to travel. You are, in a hostile environment. But yeah, Toledo has the pieces offensively, defensively. They just got to play up to their potential, and this should be a win.
Yeah. Ball State, NIU. I like Ball State here. I just NIU. I don't get it. I don't get it because they got they still have been running the ball, and typically you're able to run the ball. They just, I mean, their pass offense is non-existent. It was a little bit better last week, but I don't know if Ball State and the dual threat quarterback.
It gives them a chance. You know, they score almost a touchdown more per game than Northern Illinois does at 12 and a half points. I'm going to go NIU because they're at home and they need a win. So I'm, for no particular reason other than my gut, I'm going to go NIU.
I like it. UMass at Central Michigan. You know, UMass is the one team in the Northeast that hadn't found their Italian quarterback yet, Jeff,
He's out
to
there,
take them
I
over.
promise.
Over the top. Central Michigan, 17.5 is a lot of points. But how about Central Michigan? 2 wins away from bowl eligibility under Matt Drinkle first year. And you remember, they started their season. You remember when we talked to him, their first 4 or 5 games were brutal. You know, especially for a first-year staff and all that. But give me Central Michigan there. Western Michigan at Miami.
Big one.
Big game. Both teams 3-0 in conference play. Western Michigan, of course, already beat Toledo. Does not play Buffalo. Miami, I think, needs this even more because after this, they go at Ohio versus Toledo at Buffalo. So, I mean, Miami, what they do in the next 4 weeks is going to tell us everything about this conference.
No question. I'm going with the Broncos here. I think they're a team of destiny. Brock Lowry has played great, only turned it over with 1 pick so far this year. Not a ton in the air by him, but his legs, he's been good running the ball. They got the talent at the skill positions. And Miami is, they've played a good season so far, but it hasn't been convincing to me. I'm not sold on Finn. He's turned it over. He hasn't looked quite as explosive as he was last time he was in this conference. But they got a good defense. It's stingy. They're going to play physical for some reason. I don't know. I think this is Western Michigan's time. So time to step into the light.
How about all these totals in the low 40s in the MAC, dude? 40.5 for that one. I mean, that's
physical.
21-20 game.
Yeah.
Going to the Mountain West, Boise State at Nevada tonight, late. Boise State 3 touchdown favorites. We joked about it early in the week. Boise's going to start blowing people out. They're going to start receiving votes in the AP. And if South Florida loses to Memphis, and then Memphis loses to Tulane, and then Tulane loses to somebody else, you just freaking watch, man. They're going to be right there. And this is why if you're a Boise State fan, and I know we probably played into it, getting on here and talking bad about the way they looked offensively, but this is why you don't panic. And this is why the playoff expansion is good, because if this was 4 teams or this was 2 teams and Boise State loses to South Florida, their season's over. Their goal of making the playoff and winning a championship is over. Now they're very much in it, especially when they beat Nevada by 3 touchdowns tonight.
They should. There's no reason they shouldn't cover this spread. They saw what we did a week ago against UNLV, who I think is a good team. They're much better than Nevada. Pound the rock. Control. Like, this is a game you impose your will and physicality on the other opponent. You can just lean on them and the dams will break. I think that's what's going to happen. Dylan Riley has been outstanding this year. Also Sire Gaines and Sherrod. Between the 3 of them, you're 1,500 yards rushing on the year. So lean on that. You don't need to force the issue with Madsen in this game. Just let him play a clean game and play point guard and run this offense.
It's funny, Boise, every year they have a couple of running backs, and it's always the one that you don't expect that has the biggest year. Like Dylan Riley, I thought it'd be Sire Gaines would be their big, number 1 guy. But they always find somebody else. It's like when they had George Halani and all their fans were like, no, it's this young kid named Ashton Genty. And sure as hell, it was him. But anyway, San Diego State at Fresno State. Big one for both of them. San Diego State, road favorites, 3.5, ninth overall defense in the country, fifth in scoring defense in the country. Fresno State, this is not, I know we keep talking about it. You have this perception that Fresno State is going to be this air raid, throw it all over. They're not really that this year. Their defense is what does it. I think this game, there's going to be, I'm going to make a kind of a hot take. There's going to be a special teams play that wins this game. Block punt, block field goal, or a return, or it might not even be blocked, just a botched snap or something like that is going to turn this game. But I'm rooting for San Diego State, man. I've enjoyed watching them this year. I'm glad that they're having the success. They deserve it. We got to get some people to start supporting them there. As I'm saying that, I'm not taking into account that there's going to be a freaking rocking crowd in Fresno, and it's going to be a really tough place to play. But just give me the Aztecs, man.
This is a big game for San Diego State. I mean, this is a premier matchup in the Mountain West, in the state of California. You're on the road. This is their biggest test, I think, of the year. If they can get past this, the Aztecs are for real, and they should be right there in the driver's seat for a conference championship. A lot's going to be on this offense. We know how good the defense is, but you do have the number 1 ranked defense in the conference, only giving up 12 points a game. But Fresno State is the fourth ranked defense in the conference. So it should be a fun one. Should be a great day in the Valley.
Is that is that a late game?
It is.
FS1, 10:30 Eastern game?
It is a 2:30
Brutal.
Central game. So what is that? 11?
Well, I'll put it on in the car while I'm driving.
Should be a fun one.
Yeah.
I think San Diego State gets it, but I'm not confident about it.
No, I'm with you. Utah State at New Mexico. Again, Jeff, I feel like Utah State's getting overlooked again.
Yes, they are.
I kind of like Utah State here.
Yeah, I'm sort of surprised that New Mexico is favored. See,
me too.
Every week there is like a game where it's just puzzling. Last week it was Hawaii. Like I was like, why is Hawaii not favored in this game? And they ended up winning. Yeah, I like Utah State in this. Barnes has been great. That backfield is dynamic. New Mexico is good. They're much improved. I love what they're doing. But so far this year, Utah State is far more proven week in and week out.
Yeah, I think so too. Colorado State at Wyoming. This is interesting. The interim head coach at Colorado State. It's always the bump. Now, touchdown dogs at Wyoming and Laramie. That's tough too. But
for
Fowler Nicolosi in the portal, you never know if maybe he's been a bit of an issue in the locker room.
I wouldn't think so.
I don't think so either, but maybe it's a distraction that's not there anymore.
For all intents and purposes of what we've been preaching, you have to take Colorado. Just as a money line, throw it in something. Have to.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get the 1 game bump. Usually you do.
Let's get into the Sun Belt quickly before we get a couple of voicemails. App State at Old Dominion. You know, App matches up a little better with Old Dominion than you might think. 2 touchdown dogs on the road. Old Dominion, are they reeling? Let's see how that locker room is, because they've had a couple of rough ones. Let's see if they can bounce back. But, you know, App's run defense has been pretty good. Now, running quarterback, a little bit different than just your general run defense. I think closer than 2 touchdowns, but I'll take Old Dominion.
Yeah, this is going to be a closer game. I do like Old Dominion to bounce back. I think they're frustrated. They're angry from a week ago, which, you know, you played what we said was the top team in conference. And then flip side to App State, too many where they control the game and they just let it slip out of their finger type games for App. So I think ODU takes it.
Yeah. Monroe at Southern Miss in Hattiesburg. You know, people of Hattiesburg, Southern Miss alum, you going to get back there and start supporting this team? You've been wanting them to win. And you got a team that's probably the favorite in the Sun Belt West right now. Get in there, get that place cracking. That place, they had a good crowd when we played there in, 2013, and it was like pouring rain, cold rain, and they had a decent showing. And they weren't very good then either. But they're starting to play well. They're starting to peak, like you talked about on the last show. They're starting to look pretty good, getting a rhythm here.
Doesn't matter how you start the year. It's can you peak at the right time going into conference championship, going into potential bowl game or playoff? And Southern Miss seems to be doing that. Braxton looks the part. He's a champion. He has the pedigree. Huff does as well. I don't see any reason why they truthfully, I think they cover that 13.5, but you can always move that down a little bit. 9.5 is always a good number.
I agree. Is it at 13.5 now?
That's what ESPN has it as.
Yeah. I mean, it opened at 11.5. So you see that. Now, why? Did you lose me there?
No, you're good.
Oh, that was a Brian Windhorse thing when he does the. Why would they do that? Now every time, dude. Now every line that I see that it looks weird or moves a little bit, I'm gonna have a thing. I'm gonna think. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. You know what we need? We need somebody to go look. Like every time there's a line that we question, we need to go see if there's a relationship between that coach and Chauncey Billups.
Right.
Just kind of figure out where it's moving and why it's going the way it's going. Georgia Southern at Arkansas State. Georgia Southern is just a totally different team on the road versus the way they are at home. And I don't have confidence that they're not going to go to Jonesboro, and Arkansas State's going to get this win, I think.
Yeah, this is a toss-up game for me. This is a coin flip game. Which Arkansas State team we're going to get? Their defense hasn't been able to stop anybody. So on its face, I like Georgia Southern to win this game. You're going to get a little juice there, but like he said, they are different on the road. They turn it over. They don't have the power of Paulson, Sprouse. So this is what I'm staying away from betting wise. But if I was going to bet it, I might take Georgia Southern just because you get a little extra there.
Maybe they get it rolling. You never know. Maybe that win they had last week against their rival, takes them, gets them going a little bit. Louisiana at Troy. It's a shame this game is not what it could have been. It could have been a big time Sun Belt West showdown, but Troy, same thing as Southern Miss. They're starting to play better. They get that overtime win against their rival at home versus South Alabama, and then all of a sudden, quarterback's got some confidence. They start playing good defense, and Troy and Southern Miss are on a collision course for a Sun Belt West de facto championship game. So give me Troy.
This game worries me for Troy.
Yeah.
The fact that they're favored by 9.5 points at home, like it seems very logical. It does. But this is the Sun Belt where anything can happen week in and week out. Troy should win this game. But I don't know. There's something not sitting right with me, Sprouse, about this. It's just, I don't know what it is. What time is it? 6 o'clock kick?
Has Terry Rozier been in Troy, Alabama in the last week?
Oh, man.
Anyway, well, let's get to some of these voicemails before we get out of here, and I go figure out how to sneak out of work so I can get to Memphis. 615-900-4286 is the number. You guys keep calling that hotline. We'll play your voicemail on the air.
Assalamu alaikum, fellas. Now, look, I was going to call in the other day, but I figured I was a little hot, as one can understood. I got the opportunity to watch the football game, old Appalachia, with my dad. And, old man, I sit there and got to watch Appalachia, and then disappointed how that thing goes. We'll talk about that here in a second. Flip the game over to Tennessee to watch Joey play afterwards. Throws a 99-yard pick six. Shit, I said, Daddy, pass me the corn liquor. I'm getting drunk. Fellas, I'm going to give you a number. 3%. 3%. That of Coastal's entire scoring for 7 games. Appalachian last Saturday. I know what to do, fellas, with that information, but it ain't good math. I tell you what, 4 straight losses. I can't even stay too mad. It's funny. It's funny at this point. They want to talk about it's a rivalry. It's all right. I don't give a shit. They're beating our ass right now, fellas. They're whooping them. We're letting a little bitty school 2.5 hours away from the beach that's subsidized by the state of South Carolina, which is subsidized by the federal government, which means my tax dollars are going to some Argentinian cattle farmer with a German last name and Grayson McCall's GA salary. I don't know what's worse, fellas. I don't know what's worse. It's got me. I'm so down bad. I fully expect Appalachian to go and beat Old Dominion this week just to make it more confusing. I were getting pressure against sacks with 3 down linemen. They were blowing our asses up. That quarterback, he was like Mr. Potato Head blowing 2 legs off him, still limping around, scoring touchdowns with a gimp in his leg. And they were crushing us. I mean, our linemen must have read the good book, fellas, and read that the meek shall inherit the earth. Well, I got this, fellas. Little ass linemen don't get into heaven. Big ass. Shit, I might start, excuse me, but I might start showing little ass on OnlyFans to generate some NIL and get the Appalachian so we can get some big ass linemen, fellas, because that was so bad. Again, Thursday afternoon. I don't even know if this makes a Friday show, fellas. Keep it a little entertainment end of the week. But look, all I'm going to say, ESPNU, noon, Appalachian Old Dominion, bet the over. Chauncey Billups told me, God bless Appalachian football. God bless the Group of 5 guys.
Oh man, App State fella. That's just an outstanding call right there. Absolutely outstanding. Oh man, that's good stuff. We lost Sprouse for a quick second. I'm sure he'll be back. Yeah. App. It's confusing to me too because they look so good. They look so good at times, and then other times it's like, what happened? And it's usually in like the second half or something. Did we get you back, Sprouse?
Yeah, I mean, that had to be the call of the season, I think, wasn't it?
I think so far.
God, that was great.
Generate a little NIL.
Yeah, whatever you need to do, man,
No doubt.
What else we got?
Let's get to our last one.
Group of 5 guys. Joe Judkins here. Just got back from a long 2-game road trip through the hill country of Texas and the bumpity ass roads of Louisiana, down through Mississippi and finally home. I wasn't going to call this week. No explanation needed after that ass whipping in Monroe. But I just had to call. I'm watching this South Alabama-Georgia State game, looking at the crowd. I have a public service announcement for all athletes that get offers from Louisiana Monroe or Georgia State. Go to Nichols or Northwestern or Southeastern or Georgia Southern or Mercer or West Georgia. These turnouts are awful. If there were 5,000 people in the stands in Monroe last Saturday, a beautiful Saturday for football, I'll run butt naked from Domenico's Deli number 1 to Domenico's Deli number 2 in downtown Murfreesboro, Tennessee. These kids deserve better, man. Sunbelt deserves better. Monroe has a chance to win 6 games, be bowl eligible, and they had the absolute worst tailgate environment, game day environment I have ever been to on a college campus. There are 1,500 high schools in the state of Texas that had more people in their Friday night football game than they had Monroe. It was pathetic. If any kid that played at the 3A or level or above in high school, they played in front of more people on Friday night than they ever play in Monroe. Man, thanks for letting me vent again. I appreciate it. Terry Johnson, where you at? If you coming tomorrow, PM me. I got you covered. Trojan's going to get after that Cajun ass, though. Lastly, you two, I want to invite you both to Troy next weekend, our annual group for Fish Fry, Puppies, and the works. Sprouse, tell your boys. Game kicks at 7 o'clock Central Time. God bless the Group of 5 guys. Man, have a great weekend. Fantastic weekend of college football. Go Trojans.
Appreciate you, Joe, as always.
Ain't no doubt. Jeff, my internet is
it's dicey,
acting crazy. So we might have to get this show. Joe, I don't know. That's Halloween week. Halloween is a tough one. It's my middle kid's birthday. It's like 2 days before. And Halloween is a big deal in our neighborhood and our family. So it might be tough. But I've done worse. I've
never say never.
I'm in a little bit of trouble for going to Memphis this weekend. So I went to New Orleans on my 9-year anniversary. So, I mean, I've done some things. Anyway, but we got to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching. As always, thank you for listening. We appreciate every single one of you guys. Make sure you hit the follow button on all the socials at Group of 5 Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Believe Network, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a 5-star rating. Leave a review. Tell your family and friends all about us. Enjoy some good football in the American and the Mountain West tonight and a full slate on Saturday. We're out of here.